Let's look at some of the opinion pieces we're seeing come out now. Multiple outlets are writing about how the Harris campaign is just falling apart. This one from David Marcus at Fox News says, love him or hate him or ignore him, Donald Trump is who he is, and the voters know that's what they would be getting. But Kamala Harris remains an enigma, a vague promise of full and of high and hearty words, and almost a ghost. And ghosts don't win elections, and that is exactly why Kamala Harris is losing in Pennsylvania. What do you make of that assessment, Alex?
Well, Gabriella, you nailed it. I mean, Donald Trump is who he is. He's a wealthy guy, became a billionaire because he's a very shrewd businessman. But when you ask Kamala Harris about her upbringing, she just repeats the same moniker. Well, I came from a middle class family. Well, yeah, that was a middle class family living in Canada. So she's just full of it. And the American people know that. And that's what's so frustrating is that she is so fake. She's such a fraud. And if she somehow wins, which I do not think is going to happen, this country is going to be heading in not just the wrong direction, but the country that as you know it today, we're going to go and get into multiple wars. Our economy is going to collapse. People are not going to be able to afford a home. I mean, the middle class will be deleted if Kamala Harris becomes president of the United States of America.
You know, the only person I think who's performing worse than Kamala Harris in this campaign is her running mate, and that is Tim Walz. And we just know he's been performing terribly. This is his response as to why he lost the debate.
I said, one thing is I told people, I said, I'm not that great a debater. I was a school teacher, so I'm trained to answer questions. That's not a good debating skill.
I told people, Alex, just how damaging has Tim Walz been to Kamala Harris's campaign?
Well, Kamala Harris got in trouble for lying about working at McDonald's, so she had stolen Mick Valor, but he actually had stolen valor. He said that he carried weapons and fought in the Middle East when he was really just in Europe. So he's a liar. He's been caught lying multiple times. And you're right. The only worst person to Kamala Harris in this campaign is Tim Walz. And also, people create the narrative that he wants to put tampons in the boys' restroom, which is true. So think how absurd that is, that he wants to spend government money to put women's supplies in the boys' restroom. I mean, he's absurd. He's untalented. And if the DNC really had any gall, or if they really cared about their people, they would have picked Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, the governor of Pennsylvania, in the most important state, but they didn't because they want to appease the pro-Palestinian crowd. So I hope that them choosing Tim Walz is the nail in the coffin of the Kamala Harris campaign.
Yeah, I think you might be right. If she's not the nail in the coffin, I think he might be. Look, former President Barack Obama, he's back in the spotlight trying to help out Kamala Harris, and this time he decided to rap for an audience.
Now notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
Alex, what is he doing?
Well, you have to give it up to Barack Obama. I don't like his politics, but he is a talented orator, and that's why he won in 2008 and 2016. But when you really look at that, a lot of people said that Vivek Ramaswamy was copying Barack Obama, but Barack Obama copied that same exact thing that Vivek Ramaswamy already did when he was campaigning to be the nominee in the Republican Party. So it's crazy how all these politicians steal from each other. And, Barack Obama, him saying that, I actually kind of enjoyed that clip because it was kind of funny. He's in Detroit, but even Barack Obama cannot do enough to save Kamala Harris's campaign. I just think it's too little too late. And that video, it's funny. I have to give that. I mean, Gabriella, you in Australia, you have to see that our ex-president is up there rapping Eminem lines. You might need to be a little worried about the state of America, but at least you guys probably find us entertaining.
They're doing anything they can. Well, Donald Trump is the brilliant entertainer, so Barack Obama, I suppose, is trying to step things up. But look, Donald Trump has opened up about the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. Here he is.
And my faith took on new meaning on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, where I was knocked to the ground, essentially, by what seemed like a supernatural hand. And I would like to think that God saved me for a purpose, and that's to make our country greater than ever before.
I do think it's incredible to hear him speak about this. The left-wing media would just rather forget that those assassination attempts, ever happen. They don't really want to bring it up. So I think it's important that Donald Trump speaks about it.
It's incredibly important. I mean, it's been memory holds here in America. People aren't even really talking about that assassination attempt, especially on the left. And it's crazy that the rhetoric behind it was that he almost deserved it. You heard people in the mainstream media saying that he deserved it for the way that he spoke. So I don't know. It's a really sad state of affairs where a presidential candidate got shot and it's not talked about 24/7. And that's the case. And that's why I appreciate you guys talking about it, because what's sad is this is probably not going to be the last attempt. I think Donald Trump is in a very dangerous spot, especially if he wins. There's a lot of people that want to take him out. And whether you want to say it's a deep state, Secret Service conspiracy, I don't know if it's that, but it only takes one crazy person and a DEI trained Secret Service that's protecting him for him to be taken out. So I'm very worried that this is not the last time that Donald Trump potentially could be shot. And I hope that doesn't happen again.
Absolutely. And after those comments from Kamala Harris today, people are back on Twitter saying pray for Trump. Donald Trump is set to record an interview with podcasting giant Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan confirmed that Donald Trump will be joining him in his Austin studio, posting it on social media. Alex, what can we expect from this, and what impact do you think it's going to have on voters?
This will be the biggest podcast of the last 100 years, the biggest podcast of all time. I mean, I know podcasting is relatively new, but I'm just saying this is going to be the thing that wins the election for Donald Trump. Him and Joe Rogan speaking, in a non-organized, just improvisational speech, because every time that we hear Kamala speak, it's pre-approved questions. CNN and MSNBC, they edit the answers. With Donald Trump, you're not going to get that. Joe Rogan is considers himself a libertarian, considers himself right in the middle. So he's going to air whatever they film. So I think this could be what actually puts Donald Trump over the top. And it's going to be great. I can't imagine sitting there and talking to the president for 2 hours, and Joe Rogan's going to be talking about hunting elk and running up hills, and Joe Rogan is going to tell him about his time in Hollywood, and Trump's going to talk about his experiences. So it's just going to be two of the most popular people here in America getting together to have a long conversation. It's going to be entertaining, and I cannot wait to watch it this Friday.
Absolutely. I can't wait as well. Just in contrast to Donald Trump, how he performs compared to Kamala Harris in interviews, let's just look one more time at how Kamala Harris performed on NBC News. She was asked about the Joe Biden cover-up.
Can you say that you were honest with the American people about what you saw in those moments with President Biden as you were with him again and again, repeatedly in that time?
Of course. Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely.
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
Kamala Harris doesn't even try to sound believable as she really kind of stabs Joe Biden in the back, looking lost for words, describing him rather as accomplished and capable. But she goes on to insist that she's going to be different than Joe Biden.
Our new NBC News poll shows that more voters think that the Biden administration policies have hurt them rather than helped them. And I wonder, are the last 4 years an obstacle to you in this race?
Here's how I look at it. First of all, let me be very clear. Mine will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. I bring my own experiences, my own ideas to it, and it has informed a number of my areas of focus, most of which are, on, to your point, lowering costs.
Oh, Alex, who is buying that?
Nobody. I mean, she's trying to distance herself from the office that she's held for 4 years with Joe Biden, and calling him capable is an absolute joke. I mean, this is what Joe Biden did. He was at a rally and put on a MAGA hat just like this. So if Joe Biden
I love that you brought it out.
That's what I'm saying. If Joe Biden's putting on MAGA hats, I don't know if he's got it all upstairs. But believe it or not, I think Joe Biden is a better president than Kamala Harris could ever be. But this is what she does. She says a lot of words without saying one thing concrete or inspirational to her own voting base. So it's just word salad. It's hard to watch.
It is hard to watch. It's actually a skill, don't you think? She can speak that long without actually making sense. But Alex Stein, I love the hat. It is so great to speak with you. Thanks so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Gabriella. Have a good one.